working any place, anywhere we could in Boston and the colleges, just to get some money to pay the rent, and doing a lot of dreaming on.
My room at this apartment that we all lived in was basically the living room. I mean, everybody just hung out in my room. My room was the only room big enough to put a piano in. So I woke up every morning to Stephen playing this weird song in the key of F, just telling me how much of a hit it was going to be, and it turned out to be Dream On.
Dream out, dream out, dream out, dream yourself a dream come true. Same south side of town, the light shining on the vine around. It's the same old story, same old song and dance.
Aerosmith, Get Your Wings. You see that scarf I'm wearing? It was loaded and filled up with 2-inhalls and second-inhalls, which is what I was just getting into during this album. It was the greatest album because one of my favorite all-time songs is on this, called Seasons of Wither, and Train Kept A-Rollin'. And same old song and dance.
And of course, this album really broke everything wide open. We went out on tour with this album, and all of a sudden we were rock stars.
Ah, this album, Toys in the Attic. We had lots of toys in our attic when we did this album. But you can see we were still holding on to something, and it was the little kid climbing into the pictures with the keys, which we never found. And it was somewhere along the last album, which I came to find out that, good God Almighty, bless my soul, I got the right key, baby, but the wrong keyhole. Yes.
They're just a great rock and roll band. I mean, there's always something different coming out of them, and you go, wow, that's cool. You know, they're just like the epitome of rock and roll.
I think they are the coolest rock and roll band there is, without a doubt. Aerosmith.
Right behind that glass, right there, getting dressed right now. I mean, can you see them? Look at that. Look at, that's what I mean. And we move right on to Rocks. The reason we came up with Rocks is because I couldn't come up with a title. Joe Perry came up with the obvious, as he always does, and says, let's call it Rocks. Because it does, because it is.
As far as the 70s went, this was the pinnacle as far as Aerosmith's recording technique and how well we were doing, just getting our musical ideas happening and communicating them. Draw the Line was our 5th album. This is when the band finally realized it was successful, and success began to corrupt us a little bit. By this time we all had our own mansions, you know, Ferraris, Porsches, and all that kind of great stuff.
Draw the Line. This is a great album because we did not know how to draw the line. Perhaps we did on the tabletop, but we were going way past it at this time.
The Night in the Ruts album, the album that broke the band. We got about halfway through this album and had to go back on the road. Our management had gone ahead and booked gigs without leaving us a minute of extra time to finish this record. So, once we got to the end of the basic tracks, we had to put the project down. So we went out on the road. Everybody was extremely burnt out and frustrated because we hadn't finished the record, and that frustration ended up in the band splitting apart.
Johnny come lady on the side of the night, singing how to go.
Aerosmith had become the biggest hard rock band in the land, but by 1979 they were fried from constant touring and deeply into cocaine to keep themselves going.